and welcome. It is 2024. I wonder if I'm going to say that accurately every time that we
I haven't
explore
even written it
Farmcraft.
correctly on a piece of paper yet, so don't feel
I
bad.
haven't had to write it very many
Written.
times.
I can't even say it. Look at that.
All right. Well, welcome, Farmcrafters. We are so excited to kick off this new season. We're going to get right into it. So my name is Claire LeBeau. I'm the Chief Advancement Officer for NASEF. NASEF is the network of academic and scholastic esports federations. And so we're so excited to have our guests here today. We're going to give you a sneak peek of what this world is all about and what this challenge is all about. So Niles, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm very excited about this. So my name is Niles Cole. I'm an economic officer with the Bureau of Economic and Business Affairs, Office of Agricultural Policy. That's a mouthful for saying we deal with agriculture. And so I'm very excited about this season. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Clever Like?
Yeah, it is. Hey, everybody, I'm Clever Like. So run Clever Like Studios. We're a game development company that's also an education development company. So we build experiences like Farmcraft that allow you to kind of use video games to learn really valuable content and information. In this case, we're learning about all different types of agriculture technologies and areas and skills that maybe you don't get a chance to experience in your everyday life, but you get to do it in a video game. And people like Mr. Leitner make this possible.
Was that the segue? That was the segue, right?
I mean, I even pointed. You didn't see, but I pointed towards you at the screen. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Eric Leitner, go by River, and I'm a 20-year science and STEM educator. From Broward County, Florida originally, and now here in lovely Denver, Colorado. The weather's a little different, but been part of this. I cannot believe we're on year 4 of this program. One of my goals is always how do we make that authentic education happen in the gaming space, reaching students where they are, what they're passionate about. And believe it or not, I don't know if you all know this, they seem to like Minecraft. They tend to be fans a little bit.
Just a tad. A tad.
Why not roll with it? And that's exactly what we're doing in this program is we're going to use Minecraft to teach students, as we have been doing for years, and it keeps growing. We keep getting more countries involved. We keep getting more students involved and more programs involved in getting students a better understanding of modern and even future agricultural practices. And it's been a blast, and I can't wait to do more.
Awesome. So before we talk about what is coming this year, we want to share a quick recap of the 2023 season. So if you did not participate yet, this will help you understand exactly what it's about. And if you did, this will be a great flashback to what we have done before. So let's go ahead and check out this video.
Farmcraft is a free Minecraft-based game for 8 to 18-year-old students around the world who want to learn how to feed the future, when we will soon have to feed an additional 2 billion people, while our crop production will face the threat of climate change.
What your neighbors are doing, those are going to be the crops that are adapted to your region. So the first thing is to, figure out what crops are grown there. They're going to be grown there because they're well adapted, and there will be a whole infrastructure to support particular crops. And there'll be a system not only for producing it, but also for selling it and transporting it. So that's one of the main ways that you decide what crops you're going to grow is what do your neighbors grow?
Get to speak directly with students, parents, and organizers about the importance of innovative agricultural technologies. This program teaches about the role of agriculture in addressing sustainability, the climate crisis, and food security.
It takes communication, it takes coordination. It's one of those things that if you're not communicating with your players, you could make a bad decision that affects your end score. So, the whole NASEF mission of teaching these critical skills in the context of video games is kind of what we try to encourage. So definitely having a plan, communicating, and iterating on the process is what's going to get you your best score.
Paul Harrison, I'm a Foreign Service Officer with the Department of State, Director of the Office of Agricultural Policy. I've been a Foreign Service Officer for a while, served around the world, places like Madagascar, Belgium, where agriculture is extremely important and extremely challenging and very different in each location. Originally from Southern Illinois, I grew up on a farm, and so I'm really excited to see this game and this application, and actually have something I can talk to my kids about since they're all into Minecraft and kind of interested in Farmcraft.
And what we do is we support food security through diplomatic efforts. So we talk to other governments, other organizations to promote key issues in the US policies for food security. So that can be nutrition, climate change, fertilizers, soils, crops. So what are the things that we need to be concerned about to make sure we have a safe and secure and nutritious food system?
They're farmers, those who are kind of the most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change in places like Sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia, South and Central America. And I have focused a lot on how climate change and extreme weather impact crop production, and also how we can kind of de-risk agriculture for these smallholder farmers. That starts from what to plant, when to plant it, and also how to get your crops out to market. And kind of the implications for farmers and kind of this changing world of extreme weather and variability. I've worked with farmers kind of across the world to help them kind of understand climate change and how to adapt as well. Regenerative agriculture really focuses on rebuilding soil health by putting nutrients back into the soil. So this could be in a number of different ways to kind of mimic nature's natural regeneration, right, of soil with more organic material, using fewer chemicals. This could include like cover cropping. So a lot of times after we plant a cash crop, when we harvest that cash crop, we let a field lie fallow. But instead of doing that, you could plant a cover crop to retain that soil and decrease the erosion that happens. This also includes like no-till farming, composting, using less pesticides, and then things like agroforestry, where you integrate trees and shrubs into crops and animal systems. So it's all about making soil healthier and just also kind of building, again, that resilience to other challenges that climate change brings.
When we were talking about being food secure, we said that you have to have an available and stable supply of food. You know, you could become food insecure by not having an available, stable supply of food. If that food supply becomes disrupted for whatever reason, and then you can't go to the market and purchase what you and your family need, that can cause you and your family to be food insecure. So armed conflicts are one of the things that cause food insecurity. And you might be aware, Juan, and other students here on the call, that the world is currently in a global food security crisis. The level of food insecurity people around the world are experiencing today, it's tragic and it's historically high. And there's a few reasons for that. And one of the reasons is armed conflicts, how you were talking about. You know, one thing that armed conflicts can do is it can displace people from their homes, right? So if war comes to their country or comes, you know, even up to their house, they can't stay in their house. They have to go somewhere else for their safety. In a case of a country or a society that has kind of small farm-based farming, when you and your family have to escape from war, from conflict, and you have to leave your farm, you're not farming that land anymore, right? Because you had to run away from it. So that's something that can cause food insecurity, not only for your society, where you might be harvesting your food and taking it to the market to sell it to others. That will also impact you and your family's food security too, right?
It's also about, where do we make the decisions to start? How do we determine what it is our community needs, right? Well, that's when we talk about food availability. What is available in our area? What is not available in our area? How do we make the choices about what to grow for a particular community? And then ultimately, how do we provide those products back to the community that needs them? How do we get those products into the hands of the communities that need them? How do we get our crops from the farm, quite literally, to the table? How do we...
Well, and speaking of join us for the next season of Farmcraft, here we are. It is the next season of Farmcraft. So one of the things I love about looking back at that video is the students that were on the streams interviewing and asking questions, and the experts that are on the streams interviewing and asking questions. So if you are new to Farmcraft, you will enjoy that throughout the season. Not only are the students playing and enjoying and learning being in the Minecraft environment, but also we'll have all kinds of special folks that we trot through our live streams to help you get to know a little bit more about agriculture and food security from the perspective of different experts around the world. So we are going to go ahead and dive in and share a little bit of information about this season of Farmcraft. So the first thing that I always have to reiterate again and again, it is one of our favorite words, free. It is free to join Farmcraft. And if you don't have it, we also provide Minecraft Education Edition free. Yes. So we want to have as many students as possible from around the world join the world, join the preseason challenges. And so make sure that you sign up, and we'll go through exactly how to do that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and just chat for a few minutes about why Farmcraft and what's new this year. So let's start with why Farmcraft. Eric, you have been a teacher for years. What's so great about Farmcraft?
Yeah, so one of the things I love about it, and I always go back to this story of my very first year teaching, and I was a science educator, and as a science educator, they go, oh, by the way, you're also going to teach health. That's the oh, by the way that they throw at you, right? That's one thing that happens to every teacher, depending on what you teach. Oh, by the way, you're also going to teach computer science. Oh, by the way, you're also going to do, yoga, which actually is a thing I've heard happen. Now, that said, I got this kind of health, curveball thrown at me. And I said, okay, but not a problem. I could teach health. And so, we have a curriculum. And one of the first questions was, let's question the students on what they know. And one of those questions that came up was, what is your favorite vegetable? And the overwhelming majority of my students, the number one answer, like if we were to put it up on the board, was chicken. So,
oh my gosh,
we had a long
I was going to say,
was chicken?
Chicken was the number one answer.
Captain
So
Crunch.
We've got a long way to go. Now, again, I don't blame the students. These are things that, admittedly, I worked in, and this is kind of leading into where we're going to come into the conversation for this. And I think our new logo for this year has got some hints in it as well. But I worked in a very, very urban area. So their exposure to where their food comes from was a challenge for those students. They did not know where the food on their plate was coming from, or even what it looked like before it got to their plate. So I realized very quickly, okay, we need to back up the health conversation and start with, where is our food coming from? What is our food? What are the things on our plate? And so, that kind of hit home for me. So when this became an opportunity, and, I worked with the folks from NASEF before and so on, and I heard about this opportunity to get kids familiar with those concepts, I was like, I'm in, because this was already a hurdle, and we can do it through game-based learning, something the kids want to jump into. Because, I could show them videos of a farm. I could, we could take a field trip. We could do all those things. And some of those things are very good learning opportunities. But engagement, it's all about engagement. How do we get people to want to be involved? And to be honest, even when we create now the Farmcraft worlds and the lessons and things like that on the Clever Like side, in this partnership, I want to play the world over and over and over again, and find myself going back to it and trying to do better. And then we create it, and the students put us to shame. We even did a Beat the Creators competition, a small one last spring or whatever it was, or fall rather. And, they destroyed us. So
As it should be.
Right. That's the whole point.
Right, exactly. And we talk a lot at NASEF about this interest-driven learning, about how important it is to meet students where they are and not try to have them step into your shoes all the time. And where kids are absolutely is playing Minecraft. And it doesn't matter. Our competition is designed for ages 8 to 18. It doesn't matter if you're age 8 or if you're age 18, or honestly 28 or 38. There is so much enjoyment in the game and so much fun and challenge. And so to bring these concepts that are important around the world to kids where they are in this game is fantastic. Yeah. So you hinted at it with talking about the logo, and I'm going to put that logo back up there just for a second so we can see that.
And even the cow is kind of like, hey, look,
Even the cow
over there.
What is going on over there? So tell us, we're not going to tell everything. This is only the launch, and there's a lot to be unveiled as time comes. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about what are some of the shifts that we're going to see this year in the gameplay.
Clever, you want to field this one?
Oh, sure.
Just a sneak peek. Don't give it
Okay,
away.
I know it's gonna be hard. So like like last year's was a different twist on the previous themes, although it incorporated some of those things. So we're gonna give you a taste of familiarity, but we're gonna introduce some totally new gameplay concepts, so we can introduce a different level of fun. We're thinking like, we're trying to solve world food security here. Like, this is a big deal. We need you to be like a food tycoon kind of thinker. We need you to like really kind of just use all the resources you have. So beyond, let's just say we won't be representing places as much by biome, rather than kind of like the area that a farm can exist or farming can exist, whether it be in a city or outside the city, or maybe in another country and you have to import it from another country, things like that. So you're going to have to figure out how to solve food security using all the resources that are available to you. And we hope this resonates more with more people, and also kind of enlightens more people so they could see kind of like all the ways agriculture can be implemented.
Sounds very cool. Niles, you have something you want to add to that?
Yes.
I do. Eric had brought up a very good point about people don't know where their food comes from, right? A lot of people, more than half of the world's population lives in a city. And more than half of the world's population has no idea how their food gets from point A to point B, or what it looks like. And what technology is really involved in the process of transforming a seed to food. And that's really important that people understand that, because that has huge impacts on what you eat and how you eat and how available that food is, because things have a life cycle. If you're growing grain to raise chicken, if chicken's your favorite vegetable,
should we? I feel like we should just spell them in. Just for the record.
Chicken is not a vegetable. Just for the record, it is an animal. It is a protein. But to transform grain into protein is a process, and it does not happen fast. And that process has a lot of technological barriers and a lot of things involved. And so I hope everybody who takes part in this season is going to learn something really important about the process of farming and the process of transforming food into something you can eat. So I'll stop there.
I have to jump in, because I've been waiting to jump in on this, because your video kind of spurred the memory. Because the one thing that's great about this whole Farmcraft season is the experts. I always learn so much amazing things from the experts. And I saw like Paul Harrison on one of those, and I cannot look at a vanilla bean the same way anymore. We have some in our pantry, and I'm like, there's some person that's massaging these beans for like 9 months before they ship. Like the stories he was talking about, like how vanilla beans make it to us and why they're so expensive, and it was like, wow, blew my mind. So it changed the way I look at that food when it reaches us. So it's pretty cool.
And you had a whole story there on what you learned from an expert, and not once did you say the words facultative anaerobes.
I was waiting for that to come
I
out.
know. I wanted to bring something new to the story here. Like that's what we're all about. Is kind of
All right. If you are new to Farmcraft, every season there is some buzzword that Eric and Brian Cleverlike will latch onto, and it will appear in every stream. So I don't know what that's going to be yet this year, but we know that it will show up.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, well, one thing that I love about what we're doing now is just expanding our minds of how food is grown in different places. I live pretty close to the Central Valley of California, and there are hundreds of miles of farmland. but there are people who live on tiny islands that do not have that amount of space. And of course, they still eat. So how do they get their food? So I'm really excited to learn about all these different ways of growing and what kind of food is grown where. So we will be digging into that. So first we start with a preseason. What is going to happen in the preseason, Mr. Leitner?
So in the preseason, just like in seasons past, there will be 3 challenges. However, unlike the regular season where we keep talking about this world you're going to get to dig into that we're creating, you are going to be responsible for kind of showing off some of your Minecraft skills, regardless of level, or whether you're completely new to Minecraft, to use it as a modeling tool, really to use it as an educational tool. And that is something we really encourage in Minecraft. It is a digital tool. I can demonstrate learning by creating a Word document. I can demonstrate learning by making a PowerPoint video, presentation. I can demonstrate learning by making a video, but I can demonstrate that same learning through the tools that are available in Minecraft. And all of a sudden I'm doing it in a 3D space. And that's not only where our students are right now as natives, digital natives, but that's where they're going to be. They're going to be in these digital 3D spaces. So let's utilize that tool that they're comfortable with, that they're familiar with, and that they're passionate about. So we want, in the preseason, there'll be 3 challenges where students are tasked with creating their own examples of certain, and I don't want to give away too much, of certain either concepts or ideas or farming practices through those worlds, and then demonstrating and explaining why they built what they built. And then, of course, that will change as we enter the regular season.
Although I'd add, mastery of the preseason concepts will help tremendously in the regular season. So There is a benefit of everybody playing through the preseason content, because it's a preview of what you can expect for the regular season challenges.
Right. And also, we have had so many people join us we did a couple of overview live streams before to provide the full picture of what's going to happen. And we had so many people on, and you could tell all the students that were like, I can't wait to play. I want to do this. I want to get started. And so we want to get them started as soon as possible. When there's excitement to learn something and to dip into it, then we want to capture that as soon as possible. So those preseason challenges will be rolled out. As always, we offer a really thorough guide to what is in the challenge, links to help with research if you'd like to use those, connections to standards. It's really a fantastic tool. So if you're an educator, and especially if this is your first time implementing Farmcraft, do not stress. We have you. It's all laid out very clearly. So excited for the preseason. And then, drum roll, once we start the look at you are all so participating. I love it. Once we start the regular season, now we're into this custom world, which we got a little tiny snippet of a description of what it will be like, but it's fully immersive, and it is as if you are farming in these locations, whatever they may be. And again, we will have challenges. And then do you want to talk, Eric or Brian, about how you do the challenges in the regular season?
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about that. So they will be specific to the world file, that we are providing, that the students are going to be competing in, that gives them a score. But for those regular season challenges, we try to kind of throw them off their guard a little bit by saying, we want you to focus on one thing or another thing, or make comparisons between this way of doing things and another way of doing things. And those don't always result in the best scores. In fact, we kind of want you to experience what it's like to not get the best score so that you can make those comparisons. And to be honest, doing those things actually will help you kind of say, okay, this is what works. Maybe this doesn't work as well. Why is there a difference between this and this? And all of that will lead to strategies. So as we end up in sort of that end game where you're now, posting scores to the leaderboard, where you've got a skill set, where you've got an idea of what's going to work best, what strategies to implement, and why. And that why is the big part, right? You can reason it, you can rationalize it, you can justify to your teammates, this is the route we should go, and have those communication skills with your teammates, and see if that results in placing high on the leaderboard.
Right. And Eric, you mentioned earlier that there are lots of different ways to demonstrate learning by, writing a paper or doing a PowerPoint or creating something 3D in Minecraft. And in our regular season challenges, the way we ask that you demonstrate learning is by creating a video that summarizes what you experienced and all those things you just said. How did your team work together? What were the things that you adjusted as you played again and again and again and again and again, as we know that participants will do. So we want to capture all of that learning in the flip video that you have. There's some pretty good motivation to do this because we do have some great prizes available. Not that we don't all want to just participate because it's fun, but also first place in each division will win a $500 Amazon gift card. Or if you live in a place where Amazon is not the best for you for shopping, we will work with you and find something. We want to make sure that everyone who wins a prize has the opportunity to use it. So Amazon gift card, $500 for first place, $250 for second place, and $200 for third place in each division. So just in case you're one of those people like me who likes to win things, then we do have that available as well. So let's go ahead and go through a quick overview of how to register. We're just about to wrap up here. Should I share screen, Eric, or do you want to?
Go ahead if you've got it up and running, because I would need to.
I have it. Yep, I have it up. Let's see here. So you're going to go to the Farmcraft page, which is just nasef.org/farmcraft. And here we are. You will see at the top the logos of our awesome partners. And I just want to acknowledge again, the partnership with the U.S. Department of State is just amazing. And the wealth of knowledge, Niles, that you bring. We talk about bringing experts onto the streams, but let us not forget Niles Cole, who has been so instrumental in helping us determine what the content should be. How are we going to get these complex lessons communicated in a way that everyone will understand? So we appreciate so much, Niles, your support, also your colleague Adam Cornish, as well as the rest of the State Department. And then the American Spaces, who are just, I mean, all around the world, we have students participate because of our collaboration with the American Spaces and the American Corners. So that is so valuable.
Yeah, if you don't have access to a computer at your home or a device, and you have access to an American Space, you can join this program through the American Space closest to you. And I encourage you to do that. There are over 600 American Spaces around the world. So there's probably one close to you, and they're excited to take part in this program. So just walk in and let them know you want to take part in Farmcraft this year and get set up. And we'd love to see you in the competition.
Right, absolutely. So as you will see, there is a button for where to register, and there's a team guide, and I'm just going to scroll on down so you can see. If you're looking for information about the whole program, we did an informational webinar in English and actually another in Spanish. And the response was so phenomenal to the Spanish webinar that Kevin Brown on our team he is in the process of translating our guides to Spanish. So this year we will have those materials available in Spanish. The preseason challenge guides, the regular season challenge guides, as well as the team guide. We mentioned prizes, and here we go. First, second, and third. You know what I didn't describe was the random draw.
Random.
So, I mean, great addition, because it was something we implemented last year because we realized there's students all over the world who take part for fun, and we want to reward that curiosity, that interest in learning and participating, even if they don't want to win. We'd like them to have an opportunity.
Right. And if you're brand new, if you have never played Minecraft and you're getting started and you're like me, what am I doing? Where am I going? How do I not go into the ocean?
Driving into the ocean.
Road, all of these things that I have done. Absolutely.
We have to make amphibious vehicles for you every time. It's a challenge.
I appreciate that because it's accurate. So for people like me who I would try. I would not get to that first place. We do have a random draw that would include everybody who participates and completes the challenges. You may not get the high score, but you're learning a lot and you're enjoying yourself. So we want to acknowledge that as well. We have a lot of resources for educators on this page as well. if you are in a place that is starting out and just doing Minecraft and Farmcraft for the first time and you want to share about it, there's a toolkit with some social media posts you can share. We have information on how to use Flip, system requirements, and a link for download, language resources, and then Immersive Reader. Just real quick, Eric, can you tell us what Immersive Reader is, since we just talked about this?
Absolutely. Immersive Reader is a really phenomenal tool. You'll find it embedded in almost every Microsoft product. And since Minecraft Education is a Microsoft product, you'll find Immersive Reader embedded into the software there as well. So if you've never used Minecraft Education and you're getting your licenses for free, I love using it again for free from NASEF as part of this program, you will have access through the software to Immersive Reader. And what Immersive Reader does is take any of the text-based information that is in the world, so whether that's a dialogue bubble from a character in the world, or information that is on a board or a sign that's in the world, you can use that to access Immersive Reader. And Immersive Reader will act as a reading tutor, as a text-to-speech tool, and as a translator to more languages than I can even recall right now. It's well over 100 languages, I believe, that are on that list. So
perfect.
Yeah, so all of it can be used to assist the students. One of the goals I know of the program is to kind of encourage, since it's done with the U.S. Department of State and American Spaces, to encourage that English learning, but having that translation so we can kind of go back and forth really does aid in that process.
Right, exactly. And that's the same philosophy, Eric, with those Spanish language materials available as well. There's so much happening in English, but at the same time, if we can support in the native language in some ways, that does help with implementation. So you will see also on the Farmcraft page, the timeline of events, we have a lot of live streams. Holy cow. I just looked at that and I thought, okay, we are going to be busy. There is a whole lot to share with you. Those are all recorded and available, and we're just embedding them right here on the website. So you'll be able to get them right here on the site. If you're looking to register, you just click this Register Now button, and then the team guide has all the details that you need. So this is the nasef.org/farmcraft page. And so you can go there and sign up and get ready to go. And let's see what other exciting things we have to share. I think we've hit all the high points. Register, join the Flip. So we are going to discuss this year why chicken is not a vegetable. I have a feeling that this is going to be the theme of the year. Is
chicken is not a vegetable.
We've tried for so many years to get that chicken on camera because we talk about the chicken all the time. Right. And I know it happened in a different event.
It did. It did.
But maybe we need to bring it on so we can be like, see how this isn't a vegetable.
let's list the ways.
Your vegetables are not clucking at you.
Is it A or B? I'm remembering when I was young and I watched Sesame Street and they had one of these things just doesn't belong. You know, we could do a little game of the vegetables.
Oh, don't make me sing the song now. Don't make me.
Please.
Okay. Well, we're gonna call it good before Eric breaks into song. So thank you all for joining us on this launch. Our next stream is on February 8th, so just 1 week away, and we will be launching the very first preseason challenge. So make sure you join us. As always, if you have any questions, email us info@nasef.org, and we'd be happy to support. And we will see you all next week. Make sure you register.